Yee! I'm living here in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and I'm glad to be me.
Well, you just made a little poem.
Little poem.
Put
Always
some
a little
music to
poem.
that. Put some music to that and sell
Put
it.
some music to it. Play it at South Jackson Goes Country.
I'm Peggy Burton, and I'm just delighted
You're just
to be here with you.
delightful. That's what you are. You are delightful. What in the world have you been up to since I saw you last?
If you don't want to hear it.
Oh, I do.
All I've done is try to stay alive.
Stay alive. Staying alive.
I did
staying
bathe my
alive.
cat.
Staying alive. Ow, ow. Oh,
I've been having work done on my house.
Have you?
And so I've had a house full of workers and different things. It all stemmed from a leak in the bathroom.
uh-huh.
And if you've never gone through that, and
I have.
I never had.
I've fixed, that's what I did for years, is crawl under houses and fix
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I've had. 2 steps of the finished product done, but
Right.
there's several steps to getting things back to where they belong. So I've been busy.
See, a lot of people don't realize, we talk about a water problem, and we do have a water problem in Tullahoma. Because Tullahoma looks like a swamp on top of a mountain. It looks like the Highland Rim looks like a volcano that the top
Right.
of it blew off. Well, it's flat. Once you get up here, it's pretty flat. The water just stays here. It doesn't go anywhere. And so when after we sold Daddy Billy's, which I built, and I worked in the construction industry as a kid, I realized I enjoyed the building part of stuff more than I did the running part of it.
Right.
And so I started crawling under houses because Tullahoma, almost every house in this town has moisture underneath it. And because we're a swamp
Yeah.
on top of a mountain and the water doesn't go anywhere. And I can remember when I was a kid, Daddy would go in the closet and he'd have to take a rag and get the white,
Oh, really?
not mold, mildew,
Mildew.
off of his shoes. And so we put a dehumidifier in the house to suck all that out. Well, underneath, particularly Sharondale and a lot of those areas out there where it's just real flat, we replaced the floor joist under probably 200 houses in Tullahoma.
That's what they had to do, because I had a leak coming from the commode.
Yeah,
And I just thought it was something wrong with my tile because it looked dirty. And
Right.
we scrubbed it with Clorox and it wouldn't get clean, so I called someone to come and look at it, and he just instantly saw what the problem
Right.
was. So the people went under the house and joisted it up. My doors to the bathroom were even sticking.
right.
Well, when they got it pushed up,
Yeah, right.
after it was finished, the door's closed now.
Everything's
That's a good
the
thing.
way it needs to be.
People need to close the door to their bathroom.
So yeah, sometimes. But we would go under, and the thing about it is, right now, if you're building a house, and we didn't used to put treated lumber
Under.
on the plates on top of the block that's where the moisture comes up through on the block, and a lot of times it will rot that plate where all the joists sit and they fall down. Well, if you're building a house right now, all of your floor joists need to be treated lumber.
Probably,
There is
yeah.
no sense in taking a chance, and it costs a little bit more. But it all in Tullahoma, that's something that should almost be a code,
I think so.
is to have treated lumber for floor joist, or a lot of times now they're using I-joist, which is pieces of lumber on either side and plywood in the middle,
That's
which is
interesting.
very, very strong.
Yeah.
But those need to be treated as well.
Do you still do any of that?
No, I can't crawl. I can't climb. I can crawl from the bed to the kitchen,
You know,
but I can't crawl under a house. I know one time I was in the back of a house in Sharondale, and I won't name any names, but I think in the history of that house, 3 people have committed suicide in
Oh
that
my
house.
gosh, I know the house you're talking about.
And it's a long, long, long house, and at one point I was way back away from the hole.
Oh my gosh.
And I started feeling and stuff that I didn't like feeling.
Ew, that's
And
scary.
I crawled out of there. And the next time I went, I told my brother, I said, hey, big brother, you crawling yourself back in there with me. We're
Yeah.
going to carry a baseball bat or something. We're going to have plenty of light where we know what's going on. But no, that's how I started in the construction business, is
Crawling under houses.
crawling under houses and fixing rotten floor joists. And the west side of town is worse than the east side. Because if you look at the west side of town, you go out in Bel Air and all of that's really flat out
Yeah.
there. In the east side, you've got out around Avoca and some of those areas, Country Club area, there's a lot of hills out in there, so the water gets away a little bit
yeah,
better.
I haven't. My house is really dry and it's clean.
You're on a hill.
Because I'm on a hill, and we have plastic under the
Sure.
house, and so the workers didn't mind so bad going back under there. But they took pictures to show me what needed to be done, and it was kind of frightening.
Yeah,
Because if the joist breaks, then your floor breaks, right?
yeah. Right where your piano's sitting.
No,
You walk in there. You walk in there one day, and the keyboard's on the floor.
there you go. My furniture is heavy, you know.
Well, yeah.
that's all,
I mean, back when you were buying furniture was real.
Yeah.
It was real timber. It wasn't real timber lining on something that was fake.
Right. I understand
You
what
know, I
you're
built a
saying.
house one time. The cabinet guy was supposed to make oak cabinets, and so we're building a house out in Twin Oaks out there, and one of the bathrooms was down a little. In the kitchen, you could look down a level into the room below,
Yeah.
and there was a bathroom down there, fireplace and all that. Well, we had a leak, and I went in there, and the vanity in the bathroom, supposed to be 3/4 inch lumber. Well, it was swollen out about 2 inches.
Oh gosh.
And I thought, real wood doesn't swell out like that overnight. And I peeled off sure enough, he'd put press board under there, made those cabinets out of press board, and then covered them, veneered
with
them
veneer,
with
yeah.
oak. And I said, yeah, you tear them all out and bring them back in here and redo them. I'm
Right.
paying for real
I would,
thing.
yeah.
So that's part of it.
An engineer, I think, would do a better job. Surely an engineer would not allow that kind of structure.
Well, engineers are engineers. They putting rockets on the moon. Most of them.
Most of them aren't under a house.
Other than one thing engineers do, which I really love, is a lot of engineers end up being do-it-yourselfers, woodworkers and stuff. So they'll buy, and they got the money to buy table saws and chop saws and all these high dollar saws, and they'll build one set of cabinets and they sit in the garage.
Yeah.
And somebody like me will come by and say, you going to use that stuff? No, I'm done with it. And you get brand new stuff for about 50% of what
That's
it's
true.
worth.
It happens a lot.
Sell it.
It happens a lot.
We'd buy it and use it.
Yeah.
So
And I know a guy that he does work for me sometimes, and he goes to yard sales or markets or whatever, and he'll find something every time that he can use in his
Sure,
business
sure.
for like $1 or 50
sure.
cents.
Oh, heavens, yes.
I admire that. I'm not a person that goes and haunts yard sales.
Yeah,
but
we were over in North Carolina this weekend. Fran, my wife Fran, and Candy, my sister-in-law, and me went over to celebrate Branch McClure's 100th birthday.
I think that's awesome.
And
What a wonderful lady.
and it was, you know what? It's never really fun. I don't care how pretty the place is or not pretty it is when you don't get to sleep in your own bed.
I know.
You can go into a hotel and walk in and go, oh, isn't this lovely? Till
then
you
you
lay
can't-
down
then
in
you
the
can't go
bed,
to
you go,
sleep.
where's, like Julia said, where's that hole I'm used to sleeping in? Where's that divot in the mattress, you know? So I was up about 2 o'clock in the morning. And as I normally do, I looked on the side of the bed and I'd left a piece of paper and a pen over there. So thinking about things going on in Tullahoma and things going on in the world and local and national politics and how crazy everything is, this is what I wrote
Oh, you wrote that on your trip.
on my trip.
Good for you.
It's called Kindness is King. That's what I titled it. Could have been another title, and it might be yet. To those who don the mantle of leadership, be careful how you ascend over others' less than successful deeds done with honorable intent. As you march past them on the path they created, be respectful of the positive results they left for you to build upon. If not, when the crushing weight of the next agenda's footsteps collapses your campaign to personal success, the descent is far less cheerful than the dreams of the powerful for all the wrong reasons. Remember that kindness is king when true need is at stake.
Very nice.
So, in a short, when you go out to do something good and you stomp on people who were trying to do it before you, be kind, because there's going to be another footstep on top of yours at some point, maybe
That's
that
right.
crushes you, and the descent from your climb to power ain't as much fun
It's
as the
not as
climbing
much fun
is.
as the climb, yeah.
Yeah. When you're doing something, you're supposed to be doing something for need. You know, you're doing something to help people in need, but yet you're
helping.
grabbing and snatching and
And
stomping.
you said most of the time when you help somebody in need, though, you help yourself
Yeah.
by doing a kindness.
So kindness is king.
Excuse me. Kindness is king.
Or the title of that could be True Need as
Right.
well. Might capitalize both of them.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, I'm proud of you for writing.
Yeah. Oh,
Instead
and
of just let-
something I want to show you. Here, Julia, let's look at this. I'm proud of this. You let it focus in. Let it focus in. Right there. Now look at that. That is the cracks on the screen of my phone. And if you look, you'll see an angel right there. You'll see her wings. There's her leg. And see her arms. There's her arms up in the air. There's one arm. The other arm right there was white, but I dropped it again and it went away. And there was a little bit of a face, a little bit of a head in between the two. So I looked in my phone and saw an angel, and this is the end result. I call it Rise and Shine.
That's really neat.
And there's that angel, and she's waking up in the morning, looking at the world, standing on the clouds over the earth, rising and shining and spreading light and good deeds to the universe. So ain't it crazy what one old man's
like that.
mind will do?
Yeah, and I like that one. That's really good.
Isn't that something? And I love those crazy colors.
Lay off the mushrooms, John.
Huh?
Nothing, I'm just teasing.
All right. So with all,
Oh, is it time to go? I would never
Time to
mind.
go?
Talk
Well, let's
about it.
go. Hey, we'll be back here in a minute, and we'll have like Heckle and Jekyll used to say, with a really good show.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman, and this is
Pat Welch, and we're here with segment number 9, which is gonna be fine. Of Conversations with John and Pat.
I'm the rhymer, Pat.
I'm sorry, excuse me. What do you got on that guitar today,
well,
John? that rhymes?
we have a song called "Old Maud." It's about fishing. When I was young, we had a creek behind our house, and we spent many hours there fishing, swimming in it, and making rafts, building rafts, riding on rafts, and we had the greatest time back there. And I got to say that if I can get through this song with remembering all the words, that's one thing. I think Elvis had that problem too from time to time.
I'm sure,
not that
Conway
we're comparing,
Twitty and
not that we're comparing me with them, but anyway, they've had some trouble too. But this is a wordy little song called "Old Maud." Gonna cut me a cane pole, dig me some worms, make me a hook from a pin. Gonna mosey on back to the fishing hole and try my luck again. Gonna pull out a shoestring and make me a limb line baited with a bumblebee. Gonna catch that big one they call Old Maud down in Caney Creek. Well, Caney Creek runs through our farm. It's not very deep or wide, but that old big one they call Old Maud's found her a place to hide. Gonna make me a bobber from a sewing spool, a stringer out of baling wire. Catch me some crickets in a holler log and put 'em in a mason jar. Gonna turn up a rock and look for a crawdad, find me a helgie mite. Gonna seine me some minnows through a burlap sack, Old Maud's got an appetite. I sneak up the bank and I see Old Maud swimming in the noonday sun. I throw my line in next to her and watch my bobber run. She nibbled on the minnows and wiggly worms, crickets and helgie mites. Then I caught that pinched her on the nose, and I feel Old Maud strike. She stretched my line and she bent my pole as I pulled her to the shade. Then a snap, pop, my cane pole broke and Old Maud swam away. I stood on the bank and I cussed Old Maud, but I made her promise then I'll buy me a store-bought rod and reel, and I'll be back again. Mr. Osteen, the principal over at East Junior High School. This jacket back here is an East Junior High jacket. He middle school jacket. Oh, well, that's East Junior High, but we changed. We reorganized and became the middle school. And Mr. Osteen was from Caney Springs, outside of Chapel Hill, and he used to give me information when I was writing that song, a little thing about helgie mites and about this and that. So I just wrote it about Caney Creek. Never fished in Caney Creek before, but I just felt like it belonged in Caney Springs.
Well, you've taken me, John, out to the Caney Creek area on some of our Chapel Hill romps at times.
Yeah, they got rock quarries over there now quite a bit.
Well, it would have been a great place for a rock quarry. I've never seen such a rocky farming area.
Yeah.
Mr. Osteen was tough by necessity. You couldn't farm that farm.
To be able to make a living on a piece of rock, you have to be a pretty good farmer.
Right. Right.
But we could
Was Claude
supply-
Osteen
Claude
the pitcher
Osteen, the
for
pitcher, he was one of the pitching rotation of the 1965 championship Dodgers.
Right.
And
Now, they were
Sandy
cousins?
Koufax, they were first cousins.
Okay.
Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, they lost their first 2 games. And then Claude, we called him Mudcat. Mudcat was his name. But he won the 3rd game, and then Don Drysdale and Koufax were able to win their next games, and they went on to win the series. But Mr. Osteen, you know, he'd say, Claude, he was our bat boy. You know, he's older than Claude, and Claude was a youngster. And I tell you what, those boys could really play baseball, though, Mr. Osteen and his 3 brothers.
Mr. Osteen was a really good athlete.
He was a good athlete.
I think I've told you, I went to a Wrestling Hall of Fame banquet for the state of Tennessee one time, and a gentleman was inducted that had some Tullahoma ties. In fact, his son taught art here, Joe Black Hayes. Yeah. And his family, each of the recipients had a table where they had mementos and so forth, and Coach Hayes had a lot of MTSU annuals out, and he helped with football. He was the head coach in wrestling. They had a little wrestling team, I think it was non-scholarship, and but he had the annuals out. Mr. Osteen was a starting guard, and he couldn't have been but about 5'7", could he, John? He was a short man.
He was quick.
Oh,
he was quick.
And he wrestled, and he played baseball. And in the wrestling picture, they had him just in kind of like knickers, with stripped from the waist up.
Yeah.
And he looked like a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
I mean, he was built
I'll tell you a
like
little
Charles
story
Atlas.
about Milner Carden. Milner ran track at MTSU, and they knew each other.
And coached at East.
And Milner sometime would come over to East, and he said, I think I'm just going to whip you today. So he'd jump on Mr. Osteen's back, and Mr. Osteen's glasses would be like this, you know, sideways on his head. But he would come on top, and he'd put Milner down on his back. You know, we don't, Milner's passed away. We shouldn't talk about him this way. But
he'd be awful
proud to be mentioned.
That's right.
And we're going to Rotary Day, and we always think about him when we go to Rotary, because he was a Rotary member with us.
Right.
But Mr. Osteen was just a grand guy. Oh, talking about Milner Carden, there's a story I'd like to tell you about when they had this year. They had the class of '65. It was last year. They had the class of '65 reunion of Tullahoma High, and Milner and Martha, they came while he was still living back that time, and they.
And
came.
that'd been when he first. Coach Carden had just been sent to the high school and started a track program.
I'm sure that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably about the time.
Yeah.
He might have. Yeah, he was. He was at high school. I'm sure at that
Which
time.
would have followed a great time with him coaching at East.
But he went. He was a coach at East and knew some of these kids as an East coach, and then he knew the West kids, a lot of them. But anyway, Tommy Gillum, my friend, he's told me it's all right to tell this. Tommy Gillum sees Coach Carden at the reunion. He says, "Hello, Coach." He says, "Hello, Tommy. You was the best player I ever had." He's talking about football when he coached at East. Tommy said, "But Coach, I played at West." "That's what I mean, Tommy. You was the best player I ever had." But those are great times, and we're always a pleasure to mention Milner Carden, Mr. Osteen. Fond memories we have of both of them.
Right. I'm looking for a segue to another story, John. I believe I've just hit it. You were talking about East and so forth. At West, towards the end of Coach Carden's time, they had a Bobby Newby that had come to, and he was a great baseball player. I think he may play a little minor league baseball, and did a great job at West, and then he went to TPS and had a state championship football team. He went to Dyersburg from there, and then he finished in Warren County. Had some great teams there. But I found a picture of one of his last teams at West, and Kenny Banks was in the bottom row, which makes me think of a story, and I hope we don't get cut off.
We might if you don't hurry, Peyton.
Well, Kenny and his brother Randy were pretty good roustabouts when they'd been 12, 13 or so, something like that. And their dog came up missing. They lived out on White Oak Street around Highland Baptist. And they just heartbroken. Searched the neighborhood over on the west side of town for that dog and couldn't find it. But Kenny finally remembered after about a week that Mr. Banks had L.E. Banks, his initials on it, and phone number on the collar. So he thought maybe the pound has picked up our dog. So they called and said, sure enough, the dog was there. Described it and said, yeah, it's here. And said, well, what's it say on the collar? And said, well, it says L.E. Banks and phone number. And he said, well, you never called. And they said, well, we meant to, but if you come down and by the way, you need $21.25 or something, which would have been like $300 in or something. They had to take up mass collection around the neighborhood to bail the dog out. And they got the dog, had a tearful reunion, and came home just really pleased. But as the night went on, they got madder and madder and madder about him taking that dog and holding it, not calling them. So they waited about 1 o'clock in the morning and got a bunch of tools and snuck out of the house and went down to the pound and cut a hole about 3 foot by 3 foot in the chain link wire and said about 50 dogs hit that thing. And I asked Randy, what did the scene look like? He said, well, every dog hit full speed with a big smile on his face. He said, it looked like a scene from a Walt Disney movie. And they both said that we could tell that story, so I guess we're all free.
We're all right.
We better shut her down for segment 9, and it was fine. This is Conversations with John and Pat. We're out.
See ya. Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
Times are very challenging right now, and stress levels are high.
Reports indicate overdoses on the rise in communities across the state of Tennessee.
Those experiencing addiction and their loved ones may be struggling to navigate through all the change.
We want you to know that deaths from overdose are preventable.
And help is available.
Anytime.
Day or night.
How do I know?
How do I know?
I am the face of recovery in Tennessee.
Welcome back. I've got Greg Russell with me today, which is always pleasing, even though I see you in bits and pieces once in a while.
Here and there, we get to work together occasionally. So,
I don't know how you do it all, Greg.
well, it's a labor of love. It's all good.
That's great. We're here to talk a little bit about what's going on at South Jackson the rest of April.
Yeah, April. It's been a busy month. We're just coming off of Rock of Ages, which was spectacular and an incredible opportunity to bring some great 80s rock music to the stage. But we've got some incredible stuff coming up. This coming weekend is TEDx Tullahoma.
I know. And,
Yes.
and that starts at 7 o'clock, am I right?
7 o'clock, yes. In the past, we've been doing it earlier in the day, and
what I thought.
we had a lot of people ask about an evening event, so we're doing an evening event this year. We're going to have a couple of food trucks starting at 5:30. You can come get some food and then come on into the building, enjoy your time, and TEDx will start at 7 o'clock. Tickets are on sale at southjackson.org, and then after the TEDx event, we're going to have an afterglow. Just kind of a question and answer and discussion kind of time, and the bar will be open.
And the theme this year
Is balance.
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 So everybody that speaks will speak to that. Is that correct?
You know, they're speaking to that in
some
one
way.
aspect or another, yeah, because all of us need good balance in our lives. You and I were just discussing
Absolutely.
that before the cameras came
I know.
on. And good balance in our lives is a great thing. And so, yeah, there are several different aspects.
So all
of
you have to do
balance.
is call South Jackson or go online and get a ticket.
Absolutely, they're there and
What are
available
the-
for you.
what are the tickets?
The ticket prices for the event are $25.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, and it's always a great event, and most all of our TEDx talks and discussions end up being accepted by TED International and gets put on the line. So we've got a lot of people very famous in the TED world that are right here from Tullahoma and surrounding areas. This year, most of our speakers are not from the immediate area, but around Tennessee
around
and
Tennessee,
a little bit out of state. So a little bit of everything.
I think it was a good choice to do balance because many people need to work on that.
Yeah, it's going to be a great
When you get all stressed
event.
out, you need a little balance.
TEDx Tullahoma.
And but coming up at South Jackson, is there something before Elvis, Travis LaDoit?
No, well, just TEDx, and then
TEDx.
the following weekend, the 27th, is Travis LaDoit, tribute to the King. And in case you wondered what that means, the King,
Right.
the King of rock and roll.
Which is Elvis.
Mr. Presley. And so this guy is incredible. We had him back several years ago.
We had him
before
several
COVID.
years ago, and he has. He likes to make it clear that he does not impersonate Elvis.
Right.
This is a tribute to Elvis, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, although he does look very, 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 very much like
He does.
Elvis, the young Elvis Presley.
He is. I think the Elvis Presley movie. It reminded me of Travis because he was so good at it.
Yeah, I think the
Anyway.
last time he was here, he was down on one knee serenading you.
He did.
So
Could that be why I'm having him back?
it might be why you're having him back. I don't know, but yes, we are super excited about
He's
that. event.
genuinely a nice guy.
He really
And he
is.
works hard at his craft. And he does another show where he sort of imitates several artists
Yeah.
in that period. And
He-
he does the young Elvis for this show.
Yes, he has quite a following too.
He does. He has a great
we
following.
have sold a lot of tickets. Don't wait. If you want your favorite seat, you might want to jump in there quick because we're selling a lot of tickets to the show.
I thought I'd tell them about the ticket prices.
Oh, sure.
We've got
sure.
a new ticket price.
Yeah, our ticket prices are tiered, and our $20 tickets are all the balcony, the entire balcony, which I was telling you earlier that
Some of the best seats
some of
in
the
the
best
house.
seats
I
in the
know.
house for view and for sound and everything. And then the sides of the downstairs are $25, and the center section's $30. And that is in an effort to try to help us keep up with the demands of what's happening financially through our artists and through our shows. I mean, everything has just more than doubled in price, and what we can
Around the
actually get
world,
someone
everything
all
we
over.
put out, and we
everything
don't
we
just.
put out.
These artists are not inexpensive.
No, and then their prices have have just skyrocketed because the price that it takes to get them to us,
Right.
for them to get there has skyrocketed.
So anyway, if you've got some Elvis gear you want to put on, wear it.
We would love
Put on
to
your
see
best
it.
Elvis, or
That is
come
always
as you
the most
are.
fun. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And then we have coming up on the 30th, International Jazz Day. We have Alexa Cole coming out of California.
Yes, Alexis Cole coming out of California. She is bringing, she's a piano player and a vocalist, incredible award-winning vocalist, and then she's bringing a bass and a drummer, and so it's going to be a 3-set jazz piece plus her vocals, and look her up.
She's fabulous.
She is
She
absolutely
really is.
incredible. We've committed to bringing good music and good art to the city of Tullahoma, and jazz is one of those avenues. International Jazz Day is always on April 30th.
And whatever day that happens to be,
Whatever day
that's
that
when
is,
we celebrate.
we're going to celebrate. And so we've got Alexis coming in. We've got all kinds of incredible opportunities. We're selling seats in the center section and the side sections there, but you can buy any seat, but we also have tables available.
Right.
And the tables are...
I didn't know all the prices.
The tables are on the back and side of the stage and in front of the stage. It kind of gives you that jazz club feel. It's a wonderful experience. I've done it a few times. It's very, very nice. And so a table for 2 is $80. A table for 4 is $160, and a table for 6 is $240. So grab some friends, some family, some people that you know loves great music.
And you get a lot more than just the
You get a lot more than just the artist in the show and the upfront view, but you get a charcuterie board for your table, and then you get a selection of wines for the table, and that all comes with your ticket price. So it's a great opportunity to experience the show in a different way, and I think that's what people are looking for these days. They love great music, but they want an experience.
They want an experience.
And this is an incredible experience, and one that I'm giving my wife for her birthday. Her birthday is April 30th.
That's fabulous. That
So
works every year.
I told her
doesn't
it does. It works great every year. I said, she maybe wasn't the biggest jazz fan in the past, but boy, she's starting to learn to love it because we have jazz every April 30th.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention this piece of artwork back here is by Noel Clements. Can you show that for a second? And Noel is going to show his artwork on the 30th.
Yes.
During the jazz event, and he has some beautiful stuff. So, just coming to see his art is great. And also, I'm bringing in Tom Maurer's jazz students from Winchester Christian Academy, and they'll play prior to, not on the stage, but in the front room where you can buy drinks or you can buy some food.
Yep.
And we'll start at 6 o'clock, and the show itself starts at 7.
Yes, that'd be great. I mean, an incredible night of multiple experiences.
Right.
I think it's going to be spectacular. So don't wait. Those tables are just while supplies last. They've already started selling, so you have to call the office though to get the table at 931-455-5321, and they'll set you up for the table and get all of that taken care of for you.
April is an exciting month.
It is, and you're going to see a lot more happening at the end of April and beginning of May when we start talking about those new seats.
And I know the new seats. I've been waiting for this for a long time, all my life, for new seats.
Yes.
In the auditorium, they're beautiful.
They are absolutely spectacular. They look like something you'd see in the 1920s, but they are very comfortable.
And if I'm not mistaken, you still have the opportunity to buy a seat.
Yes, that's a big deal right now. We're going to be launching the final stages of our campaign, and we're going to have, I think it's May 7th, we're going to do charitable, like a charitable Tuesday, and leading up to that time and following that time, you'll be able to purchase a seat.
Yeah, somebody asked me what it costs to get a chair, and it's $300, but you don't have to do that by yourself. You and 2 or 3 friends, or your whole family, whatever.
Get your business involved, get your graduation class involved,
Right.
whoever can get involved.
Greg, I'm
let them
sorry
know.
you don't have anything to do.
Well, I'm working on it.
All right, we got to go.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. Growing, getting bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash junking up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
People in TV land, thank you, John, and thank you, camera lady and camera gentleman, for putting a good, clear, contrasty, colorful picture on the screen. We're glad you could be with us today, and we hope that you've had a nice past weekend, Memorial Day, that meant so much to so many people. And you know, the thought just occurred to me in driving around Tullahoma that there's some material that has been used for so many years to build these fine old residences, and there's not a lot of old residences or buildings left in Tullahoma. Many of them have been either razed or destroyed by fire, and they're just not there like they used to be. But those that are there are stately, and I remember growing up, how people would, almost all the homes in Tullahoma had wood shingle roofs for many years, and not many of those left in Tullahoma. There are 2 or 3 homes that have the slate roofs. That's real heavy and they last forever. I think the one of the residences that have slate roofs on them is the Lewis apartment building on South Anderson Street, and maybe the old Graham home there on the corner, I think at one time had a slate roof, and the Hollyberry Inn that was originally the home of Mr. G.D. Hicks has a slate roof on it. But why do you mention building materials and things of that nature? Because it's been a great part of our heritage in Tullahoma through the years. And I don't remember ever being any caves or cavemen or mountain men that lived here, but the pioneers and the Indians lived in this area for a long, long time because they had water from Big Spring and land that they could grow food on and that sort of thing, even tobacco that they liked to grow and sell and use. And as time progressed, the first residence that we know of that was built in Tullahoma was a log cabin, and that log cabin was discovered a few years ago as the Gano Bustle homestead on South Atlantic Street. And Tommy Allen and his volunteers took that cabin apart and put it back together on the grounds of the South Jackson Civic Center, right next to the Civic Center there on South Jackson Street. That was, to our knowledge, was the first residence built here in Tullahoma. And later, as homes were built with lap siding, wood frames, everything was wood about them from top to bottom, and they didn't have concrete blocks at that time for footings. I think some of the early foundations were of just concrete. And speaking of concrete, there wasn't any ready mixed plants, concrete plants at all. They had a great big wooden tub that they put sand and cement and gravel all together and poured water on it. And then they had a what looked like a hoe with big holes in the blade of that hoe that they mixed that concrete with, and built the foundations with it. And later they did use concrete for footings. Besides being level with the ground, they'd with wooden forms, they would build them up, and then of course later concrete blocks that are used to this day to make the foundations and footings for every kind of building then. And then as time went on, there was the rock, crab orchard rock and crab orchard stone for buildings. And then back in the late 20s and 30s, stucco was the material used for building. Stucco, and Mr. T.C. May was the master stucco builder. And as time went on rapidly, the sidings were brick and permastone, and the current material that's being used so much now is the vinyl siding, aluminum siding and vinyl, plastic siding, and it's being used quite a bit today. You can see a lot of those on North Washington Street. And that brings us to the final thought for today is about the Tullahoma bricks that were made around the turn of the century. And we've spoken about that before, but that was an important part of building material in this area. Sure do thank you for watching, and this is not the end of the story because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll see you next week. Have a good day.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
Stand down! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented.
Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
She's always good, Mr. Jackie Duncan. And Jackie, what you got going today, buddy?
Oh, always got something going. A little bit of everything. You know.
Me?
You know. Yeah.
My mic's never been turned off.
It'll be Mike.
My mic?
Yeah, all right,
Just
Mike.
call me Mike.
Mr. Mike, man.
I'll talk loud enough where they can hear me on yours.
Okay, good enough. You know, last time I talked with, when I came in, I talked with Miss Peggy, and we had a good conversation about just local history and stuff,
Sure.
and about Sister Jessie, how she encouraged Zig Ziglar to cook up with the Lord. And she said, "Why aren't you serving the Lord?" And Zig was dumbfounded, you know, because he'd come to town with somebody that was looking for healing, because she was a faith healer, and he had come with this lady that was seeking healing, and it kind of dumbfounded him when she said, "Why aren't you?" Said, "The Lord is looking for you. Why aren't you seeking the Lord?" You know, and all this. And so after that, he did. He was missing the spiritual portion of his life, and didn't have a spiritual portion of it. Well, anyway, I think I saw another article sometime back before that. I discovered Zig Ziglar back years ago when I was just a young man, and I was trying to figure out how to do better, how to motivate myself, how to encourage others, you know, and all this in life. And it was just a challenge for me, just something in my heart that I really, really wanted to do. And I worked with this young lady, Anna Johnson, at AEDC. She was a motivator, I'm telling you. Yeah, she was. And so she was involved with the Chamber of Commerce at the time. And she was just fast all the time, you know, just moving. And I admired that in her because she knew what she wanted to do, I thought. And she knew where she was going. I mean, she didn't achieve any great fame or anything, but that's a problem a lot of times with a lot of us. We look for fortune and fame maybe, and I want to encourage our children today it's not all about you achieving fortune and fame. You're here for a reason, ain't no doubt about it. But sometimes the reason is to bless others and to encourage them, and that they might have the gift that needs displaying, you know, like Sister Jessie encouraging Zig Ziglar because he had the tools to do it. During her time, a little black faith healer from Tullahoma, Tennessee, had no chance with the world. You know, the times just wouldn't allow it. But Zig Ziglar, just an old country boy from Alabama, he was from Coffee County, Alabama, and his mother taught him and all the other kids at an early age that nobody was better than anybody else, and don't exclude anybody out of your life automatically. You know, first thing we do, we say, well, I know I don't want to be bothered with them. And you start picking your friends, and you ain't got a clue about people. And so bottom line is you shut off a lot of avenues that maybe God is going to work through to get you where you ought to be or where he wants you to be in life. So bottom line is that there was a little article, one article about, let's see, says Sister, I discovered this a long time ago about Sister Jessie when I read this article that Anna Johnson had shown me that it was in the Tennessean, the newspaper, and it was a story about Sister Jessie. And I hadn't seen it. I didn't read the newspaper on a day-to-day basis, but Anna was just sharp. She was all over the place. And she had read this article, and she found the story of Sister Jessie and Zig Ziglar in Success magazine. And I said, boy, you know, I wasn't really into a lot of stuff back then as far as reading magazines and stuff, but she just had a knack for that. And she went all the way, you know, as far as finding material to explore, to get a better thought on things, I guess. But I was seeking motivation back then. I was seeking a better understanding of life itself. And I think we all do that at some point in life, and we decide we kind of get a path set up or some type of understanding where we think that this is the direction I want to go. And I'm saying this on behalf, for kids especially, in this day and age, you know, don't shut off your avenues of something you might need in life by the way you feel at the moment. You know, I feel right now I don't want to be bothered with it. Y'all can just get out of my life and all this stuff and certain people and whatever else. But at some point in time, you got to be kind to everybody. And I think when you're nice to folks, and that's what love is all about. That's what God asks us all to do. So it's a blessing to spread love. That's what I do. And I think that is the greatest gift. Ain't no doubt about it. You know that too. As a writer, especially, that's the greatest of them all. The Bible says so. And anyway, but that was Jesus' last word: love one another. And what's one of his last words anyway? But love one another. But anyway, this was an article back years ago that I read. Said, "Is any one of us superior?" And this was by Zig Ziglar. Says, when all of us understand that there is no superior sex, race, we will have a foundation of building winning relationships with both sexes and people of all races, creeds, and color. Said the 5 people who had the greatest impact on my life were all women. You know, said my mother, my wife, my oldest daughter, an elderly African American lady, my first grade teacher, says I can only imagine what I would have missed if I had been a sexist. You know, if you didn't like women, you said, anyway, you would have been left out. His life would have been nothing. Like a lot of people, I'm sure, find their lives maybe lacking somewhere or lacking in something. And then all of a sudden you wonder, why did I get shortchanged in life? Well, you might have shortchanged yourself. That's what it amounts to. Says 3 Native Americans had a significant impact on my life. One, my sales career. Another in my speaking career, and yet another in my spiritual life. So each one dramatically, even radically, increased my effectiveness and expanded my opportunities. Each one had a positive influence on my financial life, family life, and community life. Sister Jessie, the African American lady noted above, spent July 4th, 1972 weekend in our home. As a result, I became a Christian. A truly enhancing, life-changing experience. So that was, and that was just to capture, pretty much to captivate, I guess, the things that I talked about last time, because that's what makes us all. We've got to have an open mind in life, understanding we don't realize it all, we don't know it all, and we never will know it all. But open to understanding. We've had so much, you know that. I ain't gonna say nothing about Tullahoma's experience with problems here lately, but we are our greatest little town, I think, one of the greatest little towns in the world, right here in Tullahoma.
Well, you know, you've got to be open, and
yeah.
You've got to be willing to accept what other people have to offer.
True.
I'm reading a book, or just finished it, and I'm starting it over again, Soul of America by John Meacham.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he says about Eleanor Roosevelt, who was a very smart woman, she said, don't always just listen to the people the same kind as you. You will be stagnant.
That's
you
right.
will not learn. She said, don't think just because someone's on the other side that they're not smart enough to have a good idea.
Amen.
You know? And so she said she would go to the other party, and I'm sure because her husband was president, this means political party,
Yeah.
and go to their meetings to find out what they were talking about
Yeah.
and the ideas they were having. And she was smart enough to realize that just because they're wearing a different colored tie doesn't mean they're stupid.
That's true.
You know, and she said every politician and every person in a place of power one day speaks with wisdom, and the next time they open their mouth, they're tongue-tied.
You're right. You're right. You're
And they
right.
all have stupid ideas.
You're right. None of
It's
us.
it's the ones who find the good ones, and it's all about. This book says it's all about the soul of America.
Amen.
And the soul of America and the soul of our country is not the politicians, it's the people.
Amen. Yes, sir.
And the people are the ones, when things get going bad, rise up and say, no more of this, dude.
That's right.
We made a mistake by putting you there. We're getting you gone. We're going to find somebody else. And the thing that's so wonderful about it is the soul of America is every nationality,
Amen.
every color,
That's right.
every educational level, every trade level. We all make up the soul of America, and it's the only country in the world who allows that
That's
kind
right.
of freedom.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So pay attention to your adversary, although they shouldn't be your adversary. They should just be someone that's on the other side of the idea.
We're all in this together. That's for
Because
sure.
they have good ideas.
That's
too.
right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you can't depend on one source for any one for the whole thing. You know, and that's just like I said. We all are contributors to life, and we all have a gift. We've all been put here for a reason,
Right.
and with a gift. A contribution for this world, and I understand that more every day.
Sure.
And more every day, there's things that I need to contribute. You know, like I've been going, especially I've been looking to go to the nursing homes lately. We've got people in my church that are in the nursing homes, and they need somebody to come and visit with them and to talk with them and just to encourage them and all this. And not only them at my church, but I'm finding other folks, you know, that I know that when I go there. And so my visit, I think it does more for me than it does for a lot of them. You know, We've all got something to offer and to encourage one another in life. Ain't no doubt about it. I had a friend that just passed that was in the nursing home, and I think it really meant a lot to him. I know it did to me. Come and visit him. It was we were childhood friends, and I see him off and on over the years, but I started going to see. Well, every time I'd go see people that I knew that went to my church, I thought, well, you know, I'd go and see who else in here I know, and I did. I found people in there that I knew, and it made their day. And I'm thinking, I said, oh God, this is, you know, it made my day too. And so it was just a blessing. But we've all got something to contribute to this life. And sometimes if we're sitting around idle and got nothing to do and you're bored, you know, it's something wrong. There's something wrong, too much to do.
There's something to be done.
There's something that needs to be done, that's for sure. And
You know, Bobby, I don't remember Bobby's last name, but Bobby didn't really have a job, and Bobby was a strange guy.
Bailey.
Huh?
Bailey.
Bobby Bailey.
Okay.
Bobby would ride around
good
this
man.
town on a lawnmower.
He was a good man, yeah.
Mow grass.
He was a
and
good
mow
man.
the stuff. If the city couldn't get
Yeah.
it mowed
Yeah.
in time,
Yeah.
Bobby Bailey
He was a
mowed
good
that
man.
grass.
Good man. He went to my church.
Yeah.
He went to my church in the very end.
I visited with him in Life Care before he passed.
Yeah. I have too. I did too. But he was a good guy. Bobby was a
so
good guy.
good deeds done,
Oh,
folks.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
good
yeah.
deeds done.
Oh yeah. So, but you know, but anyway, I just want to encourage. I want to encourage our kids, especially. You know, when I was a young man here in Tullahoma, I've been here all my life, born in Camp Forest, and I say born in Camp Forest and AEDC bred. And I tell, that's right. They had a parade out there one time when they built that monument as you enter onto the government area, and they had a parade, and I had my Corvette and with the T-tops off, and had a sign on the car that says AEDC, it says Camp Forest born, AEDC bred. And so they didn't think they had. The newspaper had printed it because they didn't know any better at the time that there was one baby born at Camp Forest. And I just said, no, I know better than this. I got my birth certificate and looked at it, and it said that, born at the base hospital, and had a Marine lieutenant as my doctor. And I said, I had a friend at the newspaper at the time, and I thought, well, let me tell him. And he saw that, and he said, said we got to print a retraction, and we'll get it worked out. And they invited all the kids that were born at Camp Forest to come and be participants in the parade. Well, I had my little nephew in there. I had the tops off, just washed the car, and the T-tops off and everything. And so
he was a star.
Well, I wasn't no star, but
your little nephew thought you were.
Well, he did. He was 8, I believe, at the time. I think that's been over 40 years ago. And he was blessed, and he had his little Army fatigue uniform on. He's a truck driver. He was working for the fire department here in town, Tommy, my nephew Tommy, and but he's been a blessing all my life. And so he was glad to participate in that parade as a little kid riding in with his uncle and everything. So anyway, we had a good time, but that was such a blessing to be born there and to work at Arnold Air Force Base most of my life. I did over 30-some years, almost 34 years there. And I was just on Facebook last night doing an article about somebody had asked a question, said, were you born in Tullahoma? And I think I responded, that's one reason I was up half the night. I'm in there responding to stuff. But bottom line is that kids, our children this day and age, we need to encourage them as much as we can, because I have heard conversations recently especially over the last several years, about how the level kids are influenced. And the gentleman over over the Franklin County School Board, the new one elected over there some time back, he said his children, his 4th grade teacher was his greatest encouragement. Yeah. Oprah says her 4th grade teacher was her greatest encouragement. Yeah. My 5th grade teacher was. So kids right around that age, teachers, you have a fantastic job ahead of you. But children are so.
And guess what they taught us how to do?
How's that?
Count time. And our time.
Amen. Our time is up. Amen.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, my name is Ringo. Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program, and are now completely handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I'm an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
You know, one of the things we do around here is we have a whole lot of entertainment coming into this town because of South Jackson Civic Center and just the fact that Bonnaroo's over there and Jack Daniels is down there. And there's a guy who showed up here. He was down in Normandy playing at the River Cafe down there when Nikki was down there. And his name was Richard Smith. And Richard is a guy from England who was a fantastic guitar player who emulated Chet Atkins. And Chet found out about him, brought him to the United States, and I don't think he ever went back to England except to visit. Well, I heard him down at the River Cafe, and then we brought him on stage at South Jackson Civic Center, he and his wife, and we're going to bring you a little bit of some of the finest guitar work you can hear, Mr. Richard Smith.
Sing along if you know it. Anyone? There you go. Louder. Maybe try this key here. people's key. All right, let's give it a shot.
All right.
Got to kick the right tempo. Is that about right? 1,
Yeah, faster.
1, 2, 3, and... Won't you play a simple melody like my mother sang to me? One with a good old-fashioned harmony. Play a simple melody. Your turn.
Musical demon, such a honey a dream, and won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag to some sweet, beautiful drag. If you will play from a copy of a tune that is choppy, you'll get all my applause, and that is simply because I wanna listen to rag. Musical demon, such a honey a dream, and won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag to some sweet, beautiful drag. If you will play from a copy of the tune that is choppy, you'll get all my applause, and that is simply because I wanna listen to rag. Musical demon, such a honey a dream, won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag to some sweet, beautiful drag. If you will play from a copy of the tune that is choppy, you'll get all my applause, and that is simply because I wanna listen to rag.
Play before me a good old-fashioned harmony. Oh, won't you play for me simple melody?
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
You know what? I love this hat. This hat is a special hat. If you get a, hey Julia, get a close up on me in this hat. I want everybody to know what this is because this is a special hat. This is the Alzheimer's Tennessee Purple Olympics hat from Tullahoma, and we are, look at there, isn't that something? Purple, orange, and white. Purple Olympics, and now you can back off because we've got, look at that. We've got the head of the whole deal. Miss Fran Gray's here today. The Purple Olympics, the what annual, is it 5th or 6th?
I think it could be 5th.
5th annual Purple Olympics is going to be held May the 4th.
Yes.
At Tullahoma High School gym, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. As he said, and you all I hope have heard and are planning to come out to Tullahoma High School on March 4th. This will be for our annual big fundraiser to support people and their families who are affected by dementia.
Right.
I'm not the head of everything. I'm part of a team. And the head of everything, our CEO president, will be with us that day for the Purple Olympics. She comes in, and our good friend Larry from Knoxville, they come in and bring supplies and equipment and chairs.
Shirts and cups and flip-flops and handkerchiefs and pocketbooks and vests and all kinds of stuff that you can walk away with.
Well, that's right. That's right. So we are excited about this year. We have one change in that we're going to ask everyone to enter the building from the front side. So we ask everyone to watch for the arrows and signs so they'll know where to come into the high school. It will be that front door, which is next to the cafeteria.
Right.
We'll have our registration in that area this year. Registration begins at 8:30, and then we will have our opening ceremony at 9 o'clock. And that's always a very meaningful time because we officially remember people who are affected by dementia.
Yes.
Then we have our Olympic parade. And this year...
Oh, and you never can tell who might be in the Olympic parade.
That's true. We never know for sure. But we do know something that we are doing this year that's new. We have a board that we hope to cover in photographs of people who are either currently suffering from some form of dementia or those who have in past. But we invite anyone to share a loved one's picture. We ask that they have it copied so we can tape it down and keep it for the future. But we are going to remember and honor those persons by walking their picture around the gym floor in our Olympic parade while the high school brass section is playing the Olympic theme.
Oh, yeah.
And we're also really happy to have the national anthem played by the Olympic, I'm going to call them the Purple Olympic Band.
All right.
Okay. And they really add so much to it. And then we will start our games, and there are games and fun activities for all ages. Whether you're ambulatory or sedentary, there's something for you to do at the Purple Olympics. We'll be giving away food, and we will start wrapping things up around 11:30 when we have our, starting with our medal ceremony. And then before it's all over, we will have our wonderfully fun prize and cakewalk.
Yeah.
And that's when people sit, or rather stand in a circle. There are numbers put on the floor, and they will walk around the floor, and when the music stops, if they're on the winning number, they will get the corresponding prize. So we're going to be giving away a bunch of cakes and a bunch of other prizes.
Okay.
And we're just really excited. We appreciate everybody's support. You can register the day of.
Right.
But if you want to register, go to altstennessee.org or call me at 434-2348, and we'll get you registered for the Purple Olympics.
That's right. And it's fun, fun, fun for everyone, and it is free. So come down there, and Elwyn, there's music, have a DJ, dancing, prancing, doing all kinds of fun things at the 5th annual Purple Olympics, May the 4th at Tullahoma High School Gym. We'll see you there, and we'll be right back in a moment.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Hey, we're back.
Like the hat.
Thank you. Purple Olympics hat.
I like it.
Yeah, I decided I wanted to have a hat that was just the Purple Olympics that our volunteers can wear.
Right.
And hey, we gotta go.
Gotta go.
Bye. I didn't.